team ban.
Well, it wasn't a very long break between the two games, or between last game and this game, but we're jumping almost immediately into our second game of the night for Group D.
Radiant team
As
ban.
once again, I'm Niz, and you're watching the Dota 2 Canada Cup as we finish our last group of the group stages tonight. And we've got the NEL Goons going up against Void Boys. We just saw Void Boys take down top 5.
10 seconds
And as a result,
remaining.
they're both sitting tied at 1-1 in the groups right now. NEL
5
Goons have only
seconds
played one
remaining.
game, and unfortunately they lost that. So they're sitting at 0-1. And the game that they lost was up
Reserve
against
time.
the North American Rejects, which is currently sitting at number 1 in the group at 2-1. So with a win here, Void Boys could tie the North American Rejects for first overall. And of course, NEL Goons will look to take a win here and actually bring themselves up to 1-1, so they'd be tied
Radiant
with
team pick.
well, where top 5 sits right now. And then our final game, which would be between the NEL Goons and top 5, would then determine which one of those two teams would advance to the next round. But of course, that's thinking a little bit down the line, so we'll reserve judgment, I guess, until we see the outcome of this game. But obviously, two outcomes here could mean very drastically different things for the rest of the
10
group.
seconds remaining.
As for a draft, a little bit different bans
5
coming out from the
seconds
NEL Goons.
remaining.
They've banned both Lion and Zeus in their first two bans. Troll and Spectre
Reserve
getting banned
time.
out by Void Boys, nothing too surprising there. But Storm Spirit and Clockwork getting picked up by the NEL Goons, and Shadow Fiend and Earthshaker are the picks for Void Boys. Then we had Spectre and Bat banned out by the Dire Side, and Skywrath and Witch Doctor. Witch Doctor, a hero that we actually haven't seen too much. We saw him in our first group, played I believe Demon played him that one game and had a ridiculous death ward. But outside of that, I don't think we've seen him get played very much at all. So a little bit surprising that we haven't seen more of the Witch Doctor. But we're not going to see him this game either. We are going to see a Wisp. Interesting.
Dire
So it's going to
team
be a
pick.
Wisp Earthshaker support duo for Void Boys, or at least that's initially what it looks like. There's always the off chance that Earthshaker could be in the off lane. But we know that most likely we're going to have the Shadow Fiend in the mid lane. Shadow Fiend against Storm Spirit. People are always back and forth over who is favorite in this lane. I think definitely with the Radiant or
10
the Shadow Fiend on the
seconds
Radiant
remaining.
side, Shadow Fiend is going to be sitting in a great position. Obviously,
5
once level
seconds
6 comes
remaining.
out, the Storm has a little bit of an advantage being able to jump on the Shadow Fiend and pick him off if he has help from someone else on his team, maybe like an Ancient Apparition.
Radiant team pick.
But I think leading up to that point, Shadow Fiend's going to be in a pretty good position. But AA, interesting, is going to get picked up as well. That's going to potentially limit some picks coming out from Void Boys. Obviously, Slark typically comes off the table when we've got an Ancient Apparition on the other side, but we have seen people pick into it before.
10 seconds remaining.
The obvious counter there is the Ancient Apparition with his Ice Blast. Of course, it prevents
5
regen
seconds
or stops
remaining.
any regen from having an effect. And Slark kind of relies on engaging,
Reserve
disengaging,
time.
healing back up, and re-engaging into the fight. Ice Blast prevents that from happening, which greatly limits what Slark's able to do in a team fight. Well, we wait for Void Boys to pick up their fourth hero here to go with the Shadow Fiend, the Earthshaker, and the Io. There's a lot of different ways they go here, so I can't really speculate on what kind of pick they'll be going with. It's going to be an Axe, so that most likely will be their off
Dire
laner.
team pick.
And we may actually see
Radiant team ban.
a Wisp and Axe dual off lane here with the Shadow Fiend mid lane, Earthshaker probably sitting in the bottom lane with their fifth hero, although he could sit mid and protect the Shadow Fiend quite a bit.
10 seconds remaining.
And they may go with a more
Dire team ban.
just kind of a safe laner that will be able to have no problem against the Clockwork. But Deuce is going to be the final ban for Void Boys, as NEL Goons picked up with their fourth pick, the Treant Protector. So they will be able to keep that Storm Spirit alive when he jumps on in with a
10
living armor. And
seconds remaining.
same thing with the Clockwork as well. He's going to be able to play a little bit more aggressive. Slark's still going to get banned out by
Radiant
NEL
team
Goons.
pick.
So even though they've got the Ancient Apparition, still removing it from Void Boy's potential picks, as Slark would have been one of those heroes that would be able to solo shut down a Clockwork in the lane, and Clock would have been having to play extremely defensive even if the Earthshaker wasn't there. But now Void Boys will look to pick up their 5th hero.
10
It should be a
seconds
safe lane
remaining.
farmer. Unless there's some crazy strategy that they're
5
working on here.
seconds remaining.
What? Not apparently is what it's going to be. It's going to be an Ogre Magi. Okay. So let's think of what's a possibility here. There's a couple different possibilities. You could slide your Shadow Fiend to the safe lane, then run kind of
10
an axe in
seconds
the mid lane,
remaining.
maybe a dual mid lane.
5
With
seconds
the Wisp?
remaining.
Run Earthshaker in the off lane with the Wisp, maybe.
Reserve
Still with
time.
the axe in the mid lane, Shadow Fiend safe lane, Ogre in the bottom. Interesting. Well, Juggernaut's going to be the pick for the NEL Goons as well. Mercy Please is going to be on the Ogre Magi. I think looks like we're going to have a safe lane farming Ogre. Huh. So I'm guessing by that we'll most likely see Shadow Fiend mid lane, and then Wisp Axe off lane, and then Earthshaker Ogre safe lane. Going up against Storm Spirit in the mid lane, Clockwork off lane, Ancient Apparition,
seconds
Juggernaut safe
remaining.
lane, and we're not sure where that Treant Protector will go. He could be, he'll most likely be in the top lane, but there is the off chance he'll be bottom with the Clockwork. Sec bugged, as unfortunately we're going to have probably a reconnect here. But a very different lineup or set of heroes coming out for Void Boys here. As let's introduce them. They're going to be on our Radiant side. We've got the Earthshaker, who just disconnected, and that's going to be played by Fly. There he is. We got a Mega Poner taking control of that axe. Schwan is going to be on the Wisp. The Mercy Please is going to be on the Ogre Magi, and 747 is going to be on the Shadow Fiend. For our Dire side, we have the NEL Goons. Duty Free Derek is going to be on the Treant Protector. Bloody Nine on the Clockwork. I Annihilate on the Storm Spirit in the mid lane. Diet Coke, which is also F4L, is going to be taking up the Ancient Apparition. And Ritsu is going to be on the Juggernaut. Nothing new or unique, at least in terms of the starting items, but we've got an Ogre Magi. Ogre Magi is going to be farming up. Well, that's your starting items if you want to play a safe lane Ogre Magi. As Mercy Please showing us the way. We do have boots first on Duty Free Derek, and it looks like the NEL Goons have made their way down here into the Radiant Jungle as 3. Is this... Ooh, this has the making of a potential aggro tri-lane. Duty Free Derek's going to come out, eating through the trees there. He's going to get the Leech Seed
30
off onto
seconds to
747, which is going to keep him slowed down. Bloody Nine's going to try to come in from below, but not going to be able to get there in time. Nice fissure coming up from Fly there, preventing any further aggression from the NEL Goons, as they're going to ward up this bottom rune location. And we're also going to see an Observer Ward come down from Void Boys as well. So both teams warding the same spot there, and also both teams having a ward aggressively in the jungle
The
to
battle
protect their
begins.
offlaners. Well, Ritsu is going to be here in the top lane, and looks like Duty Free Derek and F4L are going to make their way back up there as well. It will be potentially an aggro tri-lane here coming up from Fly, Schwan, and Omega Poner. As all 3 of them are hanging out here in the top lane. Mercy Please is actually going to be in the mid lane going up against the Storm Spirit, and that leaves the Shadow Fiend in the bottom lane going up against the Clockwork. And this should actually be quite well, or go quite well for both teams. Mercy Please may struggle a little bit going up against the Storm Spirit, but I don't know, maybe they know something about this matchup, as obviously they're running with it. As the Fire Blast is going to do, or sorry, the Ignite is going to do quite a bit of harass damage to Annihilate here in the lane. And maybe with Bottle Crowing, the amount of damage coming out from the Ogre is just going to be too much. Unfortunately, missed both CS there. But it'll be interesting. It'll definitely be a lane to watch. As I move away, and as I say that, we'll probably end up missing a kill in the mid lane or something. As Annihilate's taking a little bit of damage here from Mercy Please as he's going on the aggressive. Fire Blast is going to stun him up one more time, and it is going to be first blood for Mercy Please. So they clearly knew that there was a potential there to pick a hero that would counter that Storm Spirit in the mid lane, and Void Boys bringing it out in, well, their last game of the group. And arguably their most important one as well, as without a win here, it's very unlikely that they're going to advance. Well, Omega Poner and Schwan in this top lane are doing quite well, as Axe is actually the, well, he was our second highest farmer, but he's now dropped down to third, but he's sitting at 6 CS, but Clockwork also in this off lane managing 6, now up to 7 as well CS, and now he's, oh, Bloody Nine's going to be able to get on top of Fly here with the Battery Assault procced, and Fly could very well take a fall here, and this is one thing you have to be very, very careful of when you're a support going up against an off-lane Clockwork, is if he manages to get up on top of you and he has maybe a boots advantage, which of course Bloody Nine did, then that Battery Assault does so much damage and it'll just bring you down very, very quickly. Unfortunately missed a kill in the mid lane as Mercy Please is going to bring down Annihilate one more time. Schwan was there to help out, but Omega Poner taking quite a bit of damage here. Ritsu did spin, and then Omega Poner, what were you doing, man? As he just walked right back in as Ritsu slashed him with his sword one more time to get the kill. Fly almost getting a return kill there onto Ritsu. We got the balls flying out from Schwan as he'll tether on in, trying to get them to hit Ritsu. Can he see him? He must be able to, as we're going to see a TP coming out from Ritsu, and Schwan's going to back in time. Or back just a little bit before those balls were about to hit the Juggernaut. But now with the Omega Poner up here, Schwan will tether on in, but Omega Poner will get the taunt off onto the Treant Protector as he tries to move off screen, but I catch back up. But Omega Poner not able to get the kill there. Duty Free Derek will tango himself back up. Trees eating trees. As once again in the mid lane, Mercy Please going ham on Annihilate. This time, the living armor will come out from the Treant Protector and keep Annihilate alive. And oh my goodness, Mercy Please dropping down to 7 HP there, not taking a fall. In the bottom lane, Bloody Nine getting a kill on the Shadow Fiend. Solo kill. I don't know how that happened. This is pre-level 6. So maybe ate through this tree and got on top of the Shadow Fiend. I'm not really sure how that happened, as we're seeing action all over the place this game. As I struggle to keep up and catch everything for you, but we're doing all right so far. We're doing all right. As I can't believe this mid lane, as this Storm Spirit starting 0-2, and I've mentioned this a million times, how detrimental that can be to a Storm Spirit starting 0-2. And we're going to see Mercy Please try to make it 3 as I Annihilate dropping again, as Living Armor will keep him alive for a bit there, but not long enough. Mercy Please gets another kill on that Storm Spirit.
Invisibility.
Now, the NEL Goons trying to figure out what to do here. How do they adjust their lanes? How do they get themselves back in this? As we still see, the top farmer in the game is actually Annihilate, but if you were to look at net worth right now, I have a feeling that it wouldn't be that Storm Spirit. But I try to not look at net worth until we hit the 10-minute mark, as Bloody Nine could be in a little bit of an issue, a little bit of trouble here. There is a sentry ward down, so they know, or at least it appears that they know that Fly is there in Viz, or maybe they're just placing that sentry ward down to make sure that there's no lane ward. But they will smoke up anyways to make their way down here, and they're going to wrap around on 747. Now they're going to see Fly, but expect them to walk right past him. Never mind, Blade Nine's just going to go and grab that kill quickly, as 747 had nowhere to go. And we're going to have a tether on in from Schwan, and it's going to be a triple going the way of the NEL Goons. And that was a little bit of a disaster there coming out for the Void Boys, as Annihilate's going to get stunned up one more time by Mercy Please. I don't know. Wow. Well, Megaponer's trying to play aggressive here in the top lane as he's going to taunt Ritsu and pull him back. A little bit of a wasted pause there as we're going to see the end of a multicast there coming up from Mercy Please as he's going to keep trying to chase down the Storm Spirit. Flare's going to fly on in and almost looked like that killed the Storm Spirit, but it was actually the Ignite from the Ogre Magi as the Clockwork, of course, was on the same side of the Storm Spirit as I Annihilate 0-4-0 to start this game as you can see how close he is to level 6. So close. Once he gets that, he'll be able to stay alive a little bit longer. But it has been a very, very rough start to this game for the Storm Spirit as F4L now is going to take a fall. I Annihilate, TP's on in, still not level 6 as he's going to wait, hopefully, until he gets level 6 here, but he's going to have Duty Free Derek stand right next to him until he does. Those Ignites keep coming out. The Bottle Crowing too damn strong when paired with the Ogre Magi. Level 6 now in I Annihilate, but he's got no HP. He will probably bottle himself back up in a bit here. As 747 is getting chased down by Bloody Nine, who does have double damage, but a Megaponer TP's on in, gets the taunt off. Bloody Nine laid down the cogs, but unfortunately it was a little bit too late to push the axe away. As Bloody Nine's actually going to be okay. Will 747 be okay? As Duty Free Derek's going to just dive past the tower, smack him with his branch arms, and get the kill. But his little tree head's going to get chopped off by Omega Poner as Bloody Nine and F4L will just walk away. As a Mercy Please, even making a rotation down there, doesn't really have any mana as he's been constantly spamming I Annihilate in the mid lane. You see just how low I Annihilate is right now. He's doing a little bit of jungle farming to try and get himself back in this game. Expect him to head back to the fountain and get his HP mana up and also refill his bottle. But all those TPs to the bottom lane from Void Boys have actually allowed Ritsu to just farm away in this top lane and get some pressure on this tier 1 tower.
Dire's middle tower
he's looking pretty good right now. His CS is actually not the highest, as he's at 36 and 8 right now, still actually behind the Storm Spirit, who's at 39 and 7, as we just see Axe move to number 1 on the list at 41 and 4. 747 struggling a little bit, 33 and 13, but when you compare him with the other safe laner, he's actually not that far behind. So he's doing okay, but he has died 3 times, so that's a little bit to be scared of here. Certainly not doing as bad as the Storm Spirit is. Bloody Nine trying to go on the aggressive here. He's going to part a 7 of 8 kills. He's going to try to make it 8 of 9 as 747 is going to go down. F4L is actually going to get the kill there. Ice Blast is going to fly out. It's going to actually land on to fly. As he'll turn around and throw out the fissure, but he'll go down as we get another kill for the NEL Goons. Now Mercy Please trying to show the value of the Ogres. He's going to come on in, and Omega Poner is going to chop off the head of the Ancient Apparition. Bloody Nine will be able to run away. Mercy Please not able to catch up to him. Tether was coming out there from Schwan, but still wasn't going to be in time for them to catch the Clockwork before he was going to be able to get back to the safety of his own tier 1 tower. I Annihilate sitting off to the side here at the side shop, looking to maybe engage and try and get a kill. But I don't think he wants to jump on Mercy Please here, as it hasn't fared so well for him up until this moment.
Radiant's top tower is under
and certainly with Schwan there, it could be a little ill-advised.
Radiant structures are fortified. But
he hasn't left. He's still sitting there. Mercy Please is actually going to go to the side shop here, probably buy his arcane boots. No, just going to buy a TP. As those two heroes were so incredibly close. Flare will fly in. Mercy Please actually dodging that. Still sits here off to the side. He is getting a little bit of XP, but this patience. Will he go on to Mercy Please? No. Just readjusting himself in the trees there, and now he'll just go to farm up. And now Mercy Please is like, what the hell? He was sitting there the whole time? Okay. Well, a little bit of a weird series of events as we're going to have our first relocate of the game coming out from Schwan and Mercy Please as they're going to jump to the top lane onto F4L. I Annihilate. It's going to TP on in, and he's going to go immediately after the Wisp. The AA just took a fall, and Mercy Please trying to run away as well, but looks like we're going to lose the Wisp. Multicast is going to land an I Annihilate. I feel like he's had that all game long. In the background, we missed Ritsu getting a kill onto a Mega Poner. So in the end, it is a slight advantage for the NEL Goons, although this is only showing a 1-for-1 trade. It was a 2-for-1 going their way. Now the Pink's coming out to push the tier 1 tower. Mercy Please is here.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
So they're actually just going to back away. It doesn't look like they're going to actually actively go after that top tower.
Incoming!
Player's coming out from Bloody 9. He doesn't have hookshot available. If he did, I think 747 definitely would have died there, as that would have ensured that the Ice Blast was going to land. And even without that, I think he would have been able to solo the Shadow Fiend. Bloody 9, seeing the Shadow Fiend pick up the double damage, but still no hookshot, so not able to go. Got a little bit of a grouping here from the Radiant side as 4 heroes find themselves together in the mid lane. Mercy Please, the only one not with them, as he's up on the top lane, still farming, getting closer and closer to finishing his Egg Scepter, as that of course gives him access to a second stun that you're always going to have mana for. It's actually really, really cool how that ability works. But it also allows you to potentially get an 8 times multicast on your stuns, which is ridiculous. Well, F4L actually electing to go with a Hand of Midas for the Ancient Apparition. And Annihilate still struggling to get himself back in this game. Almost finished his treads. But we're 12 minutes into this game. Certainly not a position that you want to be in on the Storm Spirit. Because we are going to have an engage here onto Annihilate in the mid lane. A Mega Opponent just not able to get the taunt off in time. Ice Blast is going to fly through, but not going to land on anyone. It's just going to pass over the Ogre Magi, so at least it applies the debuff. With Bloody 9's on top of 747. He's got the battery cell going, but now he'll use the hookshot to jump on in. He places the cogs, and right as a Mega Opponent jumps on in as well, getting the taunt off onto the Clockwork. So we are going to see Bloody 9 take his first death of the game, as he's been doing phenomenally up until this moment, but it looks like NEL Goons is not getting the better end of this trade, as they've lost 2. Both their Clockwork and their Treant Protector.
Tower is under attack.
Yeah, as I was saying, up until that moment, we had Bloody 9 having a huge impact on the game. I believe he was a part of 10 of the 12 kills going the way of NEL Goons, and just taking his first death. As we see Annihilate getting stunned up with a multicast once again. Stuns, the multis coming out from this Ogre Magi have just been ridiculous so far. What is the actual percentage? 40% chance that he can get a 2 times multicast, and it feels like he's getting it every single cast against Annihilate. Well, we'll see if that luck will continue to go the way of Mercy Please, as he gets another one, just this time just throwing an Ignite. I feel like Annihilate's in an awkward position right here, and certainly he is, but it almost feels like he doesn't know what to do, or that he wants to make a play. It's not that he doesn't know what to do, but he wants to make a play there, but he can't, because he's just so far behind, and it's an Ogre Magi. It's like, what? This hero has got a ridiculous amount of HP, 1642 HP. That's 600 more than the Axe. And just think of how tanky an Axe is at this point in the game. It's unreal. Think of how tanky that Ogre Magi is. We also have 4+4 armor on the side of the Axe, and we got 9 armor without any additional for the Ogre Magi. We're going to see a Mega Opponent go down here. That Axe is falling incredibly quickly, as Mercy Please and Schwan had relocated right on into the middle of those cogs. As now Overgrowth's going to come out. That's going to get them their 3rd kill of the team fight. Duty Free Derek trying to run away. He's in Viz right now, but there is a Sentry Ward spotting him out. 747 lets the Requiem go, and he's just going to right-click down that tree right after that. Didn't see how many multicasts we had coming out from the Ogre Magi, but probably not that many. As we take a look at how much damage he dealt in the team fight, as 837 dealt by him, but the majority, the vast majority, was dealt by the Shadow Fiend, 2,460. The only one even close to that was the Juggernaut with his Omni Slash and Spin. But now Void Boys will look to farm up a little bit here on their Shadow Fiend, who didn't have the best start, but he's about even with the Juggernaut right now, which is not what you want. You want the Shadow Fiend to be a little bit ahead of the Jug in terms of last hits at this point in the game, but screw last hits. We'll take a look at net worth, and we can see, well, it's not that even at all. As the Juggernaut is ahead by 1,200 net worth over the Shadow Fiend. Then our next two are actually both on the side of Void Boys, as it's both the Axe and the Juggernaut, and the Ogre Magi, excuse me. As they both got quite a bit of farm under their belt. The offlane Clockwork at 4,800. Bloody Nine been doing a terrific job on that Clockwork, but then I Annihilate, he's down there as well at 4,400. He's kind of middle of the pack this game right now on the mid Storm Spirit, really struggling, 1-5-1, trying to find his way back into this game. Bloody Nine's going to try to help him out as he's going to engage with the hook shot, trap that Ogre Magi in with the cogs, and then I Annihilate's going to get the kill, and that was huge because that's a dominating streak that they just took away as well. And let's see how much gold that was. It's 900 gold swing going the way of the NEL Goons, and certainly quite a bit of gold for the Storm Spirit. Well, we're going to see our Yule Scepter get completed by 747 here, so he's going to bring it on in with the Courier. That'll be delivered in just a second. See what he chooses to go with after that, as we've seen kind of a return of the mech on some Shadow Fiends. I don't think that we're going to see that this game. But certainly some Shadow Fiends have been kind of bringing that back, the mech Yules. Looks like we're going to have a Soul Ring coming up from the Earthshaker. We've got a Blink and a Staff of Wizardry, probably just a 4-staff or a Megaponer. That's another TP is going to come on in from Mercy Please as I Annihilate jumps in from a really long ways out, but now he's got no mana. That was a little bit crazy. He had vision with the Observer Ward, and that's going to get immediately countered out.
Radiant's middle tower is
I don't know what
attack.
to say. That was just a really weird play. It was a really, really weird play. It was a little bit crazy. Was maybe I Annihilate playing on tilt? I don't know. I really don't know. That was a little nutty. Either way it happened, and Void Boys will gladly accept the kill that was generously donated to them. Well, it looks like Fly, Megaponer, Schwan, and Mercy Please will smoke up and make their way through the jungle here. As they're going to try to go on to
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
onto Ritsu, but he's already backed away. Duty Free Derek's been coming in from behind.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Well, it looks like their Void Boys still just taking their positioning here to press the tier 1. Doesn't look like they're actually going to catch anyone out from the side of NEL Goons, as they obviously know what's going on, and in the meantime they're just pushing the other lanes. Bloody Nine is actually going to be TPing.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
He actually just TP'd back to Fountain there rather than just still pushing. A little bit surprising. Duty Free Derek is
Radiant's middle tower
in the middle of all of them, and he's got a sentry ward to make sure that he doesn't get sentry warded.
Tower is under attack.
So this is actually a little bit of an awkward moment, as Void Boys are really too scared to push this tier 1 tower, as I don't know what they're waiting for. Well, will he go for the... No, he was not going to go for the Courier. Are we going to have an engage here?
Middle tower has fallen.
This is really weird. We're going to get a kill in the mid lane as I Annihilate's going to take another fall. Now Fly is going to engage onto Duty Free Derek, but he's going to take a fall. Meanwhile, Ritsu spinning onto 747. He's already used the Omni Slash, but they still should be able to get the kill on the Shadow Fiend there. Indeed they will, thanks to the vision provided by Flare from Bloody Nine. Now Mercy Please will look to get those stuns off. He does have the Egg Scepter finish, as they've just gotten a kill onto Clockwork, and now they're going to get the Juggernaut as well. Duty Free Derek and FRL will try to escape. They do have vision of FRL, and they're immediately pinging him out like crazy. There's no mana left on the Ancient Apparition to TP away, and he's still on cooldown for another 10 or 12 seconds. Now the pings are coming out on Duty Free Derek. I don't think they're going to be able to catch him. But a little bit of an awkward moment there. Void Boy's really hesitating to push that tier 1 tower. We saw them really hesitant to try and end the last game, as they were just really scared. But eventually that team fight happened, and they won. They won the team fight. They got the tier 1 tower, so it all worked out for them. It was just really awkward series of events, and it kind of started from a kill that we missed, which was a kill on I Annihilate in the mid lane. And that'll actually allow them to have a 4v5. Well, now iAnnihilate will once again sit in the trees off to the side of the lane. Looks like he's going to be going for a Bloodstone. Will he try to jump onto 747? Flare's going to fly on in, check Roche. Make sure no one from Void Boys is in there. So what is iAnnihilate planning here? Duty Free Derek is also close by. It's so weird. It's like iAnnihilate's constantly setting up these kills, and I don't want to look away, but he's not doing anything. Either way, Ritsu is now maybe trapped in some cogs here. Bloody Nine's going to jump on in. iAnnihilate does TP on up here, and that allows him to get a double. So eventually he gets something done, but his constant sitting in the trees is so weird. So weird. I don't know. NEL Goons are definitely... This entire game is weird. Both sides are playing weird at different moments of the game, but on the back of that, NEL Goons do something that's definitely not weird after you get 2 kills, and that's hop into the Roche pit and try and get an Aegis on your side. Mercy Please has picked up a Blink Dagger, or at least it's in a stash, to go with his Egg Scepter. What is the name of this? Unrefined Fire Blast. I don't... whatever. It's the Ogre Stun. It's the Ogre Stun. It's a Fire Blast. I'm probably going to refer to both as Fire Blast. And there we go. Aegis drops on the ground, and that's just a prime example of the kind of game that iAnnihilate's been having right now. He didn't even pick up the Aegis immediately. It's just a rough game for him. Well, we'll quickly cycle through all our heroes here and see where everyone stands. As Fly, long ways away from that Blink Dagger, just sitting on 200 gold. A Megaponer does have his Blink and a Force Staff and a Ghost Scepter to go with it. Bloody Nine, Blade Mail, and it looks like he's going to be building towards an Egg Scepter next as he's picked up a Point Booster.
Rock it on!
747 with the Yule Scepter and also an Ogre Club, probably going BKB. We already pointed out the Egg Scepter and the Blink from Mercy Please. Schwan looks like he's building towards a mech, but that's going to be quite a ways out. Just has a Buckler and an Urn right now.
Middle tower is under attack.
Ritsu, Mask of Madness, S&Y, and also an Ultimate Orb. Maybe going towards a Manta there, or maybe it's Scotty. iAnnihilate has finished the Bloodstone. It's up at 8 charges. And of course, he's got that.
Radiant structures
that
are
Aegis.
fortified.
Duty Free Derek sitting on Arcane Boots and just your typical support items. And FRL almost finished his Egg Scepter thanks to, in fact, he will, as he'll fly those components on out right now. But mainly thanks to that Hand of Midas he picked up pretty early on into the game. Duty Free Derek once again trying to maneuver himself in behind the enemy team. Needs to be careful of a potential sentry going down. There they are on Fly. And will they actually drop one? So, they may have an engage here as Bloody Nine's going to jump on in. He's actually going to find the hookshot onto the Wisp, which is the target I don't believe he wanted to go for. But here we go. Omni Slash flying on out. Ritsu's going to get the kill onto the Wisp. And we're going to have the dunk landing on iAnnihilate, but he will respawn in just a second on that thanks to the Aegis. And he's going to jump on in, get the pull off onto 747. That was really weird. It looks like he got out of it and then got pulled again. And he's going to get triple multicast, as it's just been a ridiculously rough game for iAnnihilate. Another stun, another triple coming out from Mercy Please. This guy needs to go play the lottery. No, not there, as he stuns up FRL, but it was just a single stun. But of course, it wasn't necessary for it to be anything more than that, as they get the kill on the Ancient Apparition. So NEL Goons lose all but their Tramp Protector. Side of Void Boys, they only lose 3, but lots of heroes going down in that team fight, and overall huge gold change going the way of Void Boys. About 1,400 gold going their way. XP a lot more so going their way as well. And let's... Well, I was going to look away at something else, but iAnnihilate having to jump away from 747 there. So let's take a look at the net worth and see where we stand, as it's been an up and down affair. 1,500 gold in favor of the NEL Goons right now. As for XP, pretty much dead even. Just a bit, maybe 200 or so separating the two teams. Well, so far, let's actually... I want to take a look at our kill deaths assist here, which is something I typically don't really look at all that often, as we see Fly struggling a little bit at 0, 7, and 6. As for Mercy Please, 8, 1, and 11. 747, 6, 5, and 6. There's been a lot of heroes that are just struggling, just dying way too much. Annihilate somewhat getting himself back in the game at 4, 8, and 2. Keep in mind he was, I believe, 1, 7, and 1 at one point in this game. 6, 6, and 9 for F4L. It's not bad. It's weird. It's really, really weird, the records coming out right now. But Void Boys will look to take a tier 1 tower here, but of course, if you're going to deal damage to a tower, you need to make sure you bring it all the way down. Living armor will just heal it back up. But we got both the Ice Blast and the Flare flying on in.
Structures are fortified.
I don't think we're actually going to see the NEL Goons come in and defend this tier 1 tower, but Void Boys playing really far back, just only letting 747 attack the towers, everyone else standing in behind him. My goodness, Void Boys are playing so scared all the time. Like, Clockwork showing in the bottom lane, so it's not like all of a sudden they're going to get jumped on.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
Pop.
Crazy. Absolutely crazy. Well, they do eventually get the tier 1 tower. I'm actually just baffled with how safe Void Boys are playing today. They played safe last game too. I mean, they won the game.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
My goodness. Effectively, by playing so safe, you're almost opening yourself up the opportunity to eventually just make a mistake and throw the entire game. It's really weird. But we do have a smoke coming out from Void Boys as they will find Bloody 9. The Mega Opponent will jump on top of him, getting the taunt off and chop off his head. All 5 heroes and Void Boys present for that kill as they drop the likes of Bloody 9. Now they're going to look to push this mid tier 2. Once again, NEL Goons not looking like they're going to come back to defend this. They're going to just push in the bottom lane, and without a Clockwork, that's probably the safe thing to do. But Void Boys, what are you afraid of? Mega Opponent will TP back, as they look like they don't want to give up their tier 2, even though I don't think the NEL Goons are going to be able to threaten that tier 2 tower fast enough.
Radiant's bottom tower
Either way, they will still get this tier 2 in the mid lane.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
Ice Blast will fly in. It won't actually land on 747. As that was actually a little awkward. That was right as F4L TP'd. So it actually came in from a different angle and didn't even have the chance of flying over 747. Who will pick up a Yasha to go with his BKB. What does Schwan have? Almost got that mech finish. Just 20 gold away from completing it. We've got a gem getting picked up by Fly. So, using a little bit of that gold on the Earthshaker to buy a gem rather than working towards a mobility enhancing item like a Force Staff or a Blink Dagger. Gonna have a BKB coming out as the next item for Mercy Please, just needs the recipe for that. Mega Poner has actually picked up a Ghost Scepter and a Point Booster, so working towards his Egg Scepter. Mega Poner unfortunately failed jumping up on there onto the high ground, and now both of them are stuck up there just waiting for their Blink Daggers to come off cooldown. Annihilate going for a BKB as well, needs the recipe. Duty Free Derek does have his Blink Dagger, and I feel like he's been invis all game long. A Mega Poner, where's the taunt? Oh my goodness, he was so clearly body blocked there. Whatever, they will get the kill here and catch out Duty Free Derek, but they didn't know until Fly came along with the gem. That was so obvious. Ping's coming out. Oh, okay. Maybe a Mega Poner did know? Because he was pinging saying that, you know, I got body blocked there or something. He could have just taunted. It was off cooldown. I checked. Whatever, they got the kill. I don't know what's going on in this game anymore. But it looks like it is going to be a Manta coming out for 747. In fact, he'll complete that right now.
Over here now.
Let's take a look at some of our heroes on the Dire side. Is almost Egg Scepter getting completed by Bloody 9, about 400 from completing that. Looks like the Ancient Apparition is going to go after a Yule Scepter with the Staff of Wizardry. There's the off chance that could be a Force Staff, but the Yule Scepter works incredibly well with the Ancient Apparition. If you actually use your Q, the Cold Feet and then Yule Scepter the target immediately. They will actually land from the Yule Scepter and get frozen. So good little combo there, and you can actually lay down, can't remember any of these item or ability names, the Ice Vortex while they're up in the air, so they're going to land and even take more damage because of that. The minus magic armor. Just took a quick look at Ritsu, but didn't actually point out to the items that he had, so he picked up a Scotty recently, and he's got a Mask of Madness and an S&Y, and they're at 2100 gold as well, and he's been smoked up, and he's going to walk on into the Roche Pit here and look to get our second Roche kill of the game.
Dire's
His first
bottom
one,
tower is under attack.
I believe, went to the side of NEL Goons as well. So I Annihilate had the Aegis. Well, will Void Boys actually know what's going on here? Mercy Please is going to be the one holding on to the gem now. And Mega Poner will walk on into the Roche Pit and he says, "Hey guys, they're in here, they're in here." And now, Ritsu and Duty Free Derek find themselves in a little bit of an awkward position. I Annihilate will jump on in. 747 forced to pop his BKB. Thinks about letting go the Requiem, but canceling it, and now he'll redo it. Because I Annihilate is going to jump on after the Earthshaker, but proving to not be the right decision. Is 747 just going to drop him with a couple raises. Ritsu still in the Roche Pit, will get Roche down, picks up the Aegis, and now will try to run away as he runs back to where Bloody Nine and Duty Free Derek are. But the Void Boys are on the case as they're going to jump on in, get the kill onto Ritsu. He will respawn in just a second, but he's going to get taunted up, probably by the axe here. Oh, maybe not. As they're all trapped there, as the Mega Poner jumps forward, but actually gets pushed by the cogs, but still lands the taunt off onto Ritsu, and eventually they get the kill onto the Juggernaut. Duty Free Derek once again snaking his way out of there, and we'll just TP back to the fountain. And Bloody Nine will kind of just walk back to the fountain as well. So fight going Void Boys' favorites as they drop 3
Dire's bottom
in
tower
exchange
is
for
under
1.
attack.
2,500 gold goes their way. Will the NEL Goons actually look to defend this? I Annihilate looks like they're kind of getting close here, but don't have their Jug for 50, don't have their AA for 20. This is not a fight that they're going to be taking.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
Maybe just waiting for the farm rather than going to a different lane. The Void Boys will all back together, as we're going to have a relocate in from Schwan. He's going to relocate to his team. That was a little bit weird. So he's going to hop back to the fountain, and now he's going to TP on in. Well, it will at least have healed everyone up, but we see the quad followed by another multicast. We didn't even get to see how long it was going to be because, well, the hero just died too damn fast. As Duty Free Derek just gets completely disintegrated by that Ogre Magi. Mercy Please really needs to go like play the lottery or something. This is actually ridiculous with the amount of stuns he's getting. The multicast on the Ogre Magi. He is level 19, so he already has level 3 of multicast. So I mean, it's kind of predictable that he's going to be able to get this many stuns. We take a look at his multicast rate: 60% for a 2x, 25% for a 3x, 12.5 for a 4x. Most of the time you are going to get at least a 2x at this point in the game, but I feel like he's just 4x all the time. I feel like he's just been maxing his potential for multicast every single cast. Well, let's put Void Boys in a position where they're maybe in the lead. Yeah, a little bit, but this game is very, very close. Within 2,000 gold, XP within 4,000.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
You take a look at how this game started with the Storm Spirit just getting completely dunked on by the Ogre Magi. You wouldn't expect this game to be this close. Top tier 2 is going to go down.
Dire's top tower
Duty Free Derek has put himself in a position where he will be able to blink and get a good overgrowth off. His teammates aren't in position to do so right now, although that would have been actually a pretty good opportunity.
Dire's top tower is under
Now they're going to start attacking the tier 3, but
structures
Ritsu's in
are
the bottom
fortified.
lane attacking the tier 2. He does have a TP, so does the Ancient Apparition, who will throw in the Ice Blast. They may look to engage with the Ice Blast.
Radiant's bottom tower
But
is
never mind,
under
it's just going to
attack.
sail on past everyone. As Bloody Nine's going to get picked off here by a Mega Poner. 747 losing quite a bit of his HP. There we go. Duty Free Derek jumps out of the trees, lays down the overgrowth. The Yule Scepter keeps 747 alive for a bit, but eventually I Annihilate gets the kill. Now it looks like Void Boys are going to back away as... There we go. Xuan just waiting to jump back to his relocate position. In the end, it's actually just a 1-for-1 trade. A little bit of an uneventful event there. I thought we had the Ice Blast flying in from the bottom lane. It was going to be a gigantic Ice Blast up here on like a huge group of heroes, and that may have very well been the plan, but they unfortunately saw the Clockwork coming in because of this Observer Ward. They saw him coming in from here, so they engaged on him, which drew everyone away from the Ice Blast. So it didn't really work out for the NEL Goons. I think had that Ice Blast been flying in and looking good, they would have all engaged pretty hard there. In the end, it was just a 1-for-1 trade. Now we have a couple items coming out on the back of it as well. Earthshaker finally getting that mobility item as Fly picks up a Force Staff. See what else we got. We got Boots of Travel picked up by the Ogre Magi. That mech was of course finished a little while ago. Got Force Staff. And now an Egg Scepter on the side of the Megaponer. Ritsu, nothing new for
Radiant's
him.
bottom tower
Scotty was his last item pickup, I believe. BKB on the Storm Spirit. What 747? He's picked up an Eagle Song, so looking towards a Butterfly.
Radiant's bottom tower
Gonna at least be forcing the Juggernaut to go MKB as one of his items, but I have a feeling that's going to be his next one right now anyway. Pretty free Derek, just with the blink still. 49 hasn't really made any progression as well, and it actually is going to be a Force Staff, not a Yule Scepter. Every time I make one of these predictions, apparently I'm wrong recently today between whether it's going to be a Yule's or a Force Staff. But it is the Force Staff for F4L on the Ancient Apparition. Maybe a little surprising there. As I really like the Yule Scepter, especially going up against Max in that situation, but F4L is going to get picked off here. See, Venture's out of the base, and they have vision because of this Observer Ward, and they just jump on him immediately. So expect potential counter ward coming out soon to get rid of that.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
As I guess there could have been a couple wards that would have spotted him there. This one up here on the pillar, and then this one right here. Or 3 wards that would have spotted him, but of course this one would have given him a little bit more knowledge of his approach there and put them in position to do so. Would have been a little weird for them to be in a position to engage on him here with the notice they would have gotten from either of those 2 wards. Well, Void Boys smacking away at this tier 3 tower. 49's off to the side. We'll look to maybe engage from there with the hook shot. Ritsu's up in the top lane. As now he'll start TPing back just in time for F4L to respawn, and Void Boys will actually just back away. I Annihilate actually almost getting stunned up there by the fissure, but we'll TP away in time. It's Void Boys back once again. Now I Annihilate is going to go jumping in onto Fly. We're going to have the Ice Blast fly in as well, and that should get the kill. As the Flare is going to drop the Earthshaker down low enough to shatter from the Ancient Apparition. I still think the AA should get credit for those, but it's whatever hero drops them down within that threshold gets the kill, not the AA, despite the fact that the AA is actually the one getting the kill. Either way, we're going to have NEL Goons starting to put a little bit more pressure on the bottom lane, but that's just to force them to come and defend here. And with this jungle respawning, they'll probably sit here and farm, and as I say that, they just walk on by because they want to go check Roche. But we know he's not going to be up for another 2 minutes. So not until the 42-minute mark, but the players, of course, don't know that, so they're going to be hanging around constantly checking Roche. Hanging out the fact that there's an Observer Ward up here is the side of Void Boys, but that one's just going to expire anyway, so it's not really going to matter. Mercy Please blinking forward, thinking about tossing off some stuns, but not able to find a target.
Here I am.
Annihilate's picked up an ultimate orb. I wonder what that's for. Sheep? Could be a Lincoln's, but probably sheep. He's got another 2,300 gold on him as well. They're pinging out because they need to go counterward this pillar, but there actually isn't anything up there as it has just expired. A minute now from the next Roche. Player's going to fly in again, just scouting out the Roche pit. Both teams eager to know when this Roche is going to be out. It's going to set us up for our next team fight, that's for sure. BKB is going to be coming out for the axe soon. Juan's picked up a Ghost Scepter, and well, we've got the Butterfly finished by 747. Let's take a look at Ritsu, see if he's made any progress towards an MKB. Just sitting on 2,400 gold, so actually hasn't bought anything yet. I don't think he's going to drop his TP to buy a Demon Edge. Well, Roche will respawn right about now, and 747's Illusion will spot it out. So at least the Void Boys will know that Roche is available to them. The Flare actually not flying into Roche Pit this time around. So NEL Goons don't know that Roche is up quite yet. But they'll know in just a second as they take a look. And another ping was coming out about the potential ward up here on the high ground. There's more pings coming out. I can't tell if they're about up here or on Roche. Well, how will Void Boys look to put themselves in a position to go for Roche? There we go. NEL Goons now know that Roche is up. The flare flew through and gave them vision. Constant pings coming out from the Void Boys related to Roche. As they place another observer ward there up on the pillar, and they've got another one in the lane, so they should be fine from the Void or NEL Goons trying to initiate from that right side. One up here, one. Oh my goodness! The heck are they doing with these observer wards? This is nuts.
Courier has been killed.
Courier's going to get caught out. As it's going to get chopped off by the axe, and now they're going to find Annihilate as well.
Are under attack.
As he goes down one more time, that's his 10th death of the game. On the back of that, maybe Void Boys will hop on into the Roche Pit, try to take that. We've got Illusions from the Juggernaut pushing the top lane with a big creep wave. So the tier 3 taking a little bit of damage here. Duty Free Derek is pretty close to the Roche Pit. Will he look to jump in? Probably not. Because he needs to be careful here, because what's that gem? Is they're going to patch out Bloody Nine and jump on in him, jump onto him, as Annihilate's going to buy back and jump on in from way out, as that's going to allow him to get the kill on 747. You're going to see Fly go down as well. Annihilate's going to try to chase down Schwan. He's going to get that kill too, as that's going to be a double for him, and they managed to stun up Mercy Please. Gem's now on the deck. As we're going to see a smoke go out by the NEL Goons to make sure that Bloody Nine doesn't get picked off by anything, as he was on very, very low HP. But now the NEL Goons will take Roche. So maybe a little bit of a throw there coming out from the Void Boys. As they even spent gold on 2 buybacks. It was a nice timed buyback from Annihilate there, and as you can see, the gigantic difference in gold as a result of that. Over 6,000 gold swing going in favor of the NEL Goons. And with Roche going down as well, that means an Aegis on the Storm Spirit, and he also finished his Sheep Stick as well. Let's take a look at the net worth, and oh my goodness, it just dropped off a cliff. As we were almost even going into that. Holy. That's a big gold swing, as Annihilate's going to look to get another. As they're going to jump on Fly. Overgrowth's going to land on 747 as well. He'll mantle on out of it. But will he be able to get away from Annihilate? Doesn't look like it. Meanwhile, off to the right-hand side, the Megaponer's going down as Ritsu's spinning on him as the Juggernaut. But the Megaponer will be able to get away. Schwan will actually jump all the way up there. I'm not even sure how that happened. Maybe that was relocate? I have no idea. Either way, Bloody Nine will jump on in, still going after a Megaponer But Mercy Please there will look to stun up Bloody 9 as soon as this BKB wears
Radiant's
off. He's
middle
trying to get
tower
out
is
of the
under
base and
attack.
back to his team. And there we go. He will get Force Staff as he gets stunned. It was just a 3x. Or just a 2x, sorry, from the stun, I believe. And then the 3x on the Ignite.
Radiant's
Anyway,
middle
the tier
tower
2 will
has
go down.
fallen.
And now what will the NEL Goons? Looks like they're going to move to the top lane as, well, we saw the tier 3 taking quite a bit of a beating early on, and apparently it went down to that creep wave. And now they're going to go after the Rex. Ritsu's going to get 3x multicast and then 2x by Mercy Please. And now with the taunt onto Ritsu, he's going to chase down the axe instead of going after the Rex, which I think is what they want. But Omni Slash coming out from Ritsu. Unfortunately, it's on 2 targets that are Ghost Sceptered.
Are fortified.
The NEL Goons still try to take down these racks, but they're still both at about half. Now Megaponer will get a taunt off onto Ritsu, but Bloody Nine's going to jump on in with the hook shot onto the axe. Meanwhile, Fly getting quite low. He will get the Echo Slam off, but he'll go down, but so will Bloody Nine. Just 2 heroes left alive on the side of Void Boys here, and it is Mercy Please and Schwan. As the Ogre desperately trying to keep his racks alive, and well, apparently they've done enough, as the NEL Goons will retreat. But unfortunately, they've left I Annihilate all by himself, and of course he gets 4x multicast, because that's just how his game's been going, as I Annihilate's been having a rough one. As he's going to constantly jump on in, try to go after Schwan there. And he'll actually even use the pull onto the Ogre Magi there. Good little play there coming up from I Annihilate to get the kill. But with Mercy Please and 747 in pursuit, he needs to make sure he can get on out of here safely. Doesn't have a TP on him, but he'll be okay. As his mana is going to regen quite quickly with 14 charges on a Bloodstone.
Radiant's top barracks are under attack.
Well, this melee Rax now starting to get hit by the creeps. Wow, we actually have a sheep coming up from the Ancient Apparition. This is one big Ancient Apparition. Well, that Hand of Midas, that early Hand of Midas, certainly doing work. We're going to have a point booster come out for the Treant Protector here. He also has 2,400 gold on hand, so maybe he'll actually look towards picking up an Egg Scepter. I actually don't even... Oh, what am I thinking of? Of course I know what the Egg Scepter does on Tree. I'm silly. But that'll be available to him shortly. Bloody Nine still really hasn't made any item progression since we last checked in. I Annihilate up to 14 Bloodstone charges. Oh. Ritsu. This has picked up an MKB, so he will be able to hit that Shadow Fiend, who of course has the Butterfly. No item. Nothing really new coming out from any of these heroes for the most part, unless I'm completely missing something. But I don't think I am.
Here I am.
Either way, we're going to have a second Mystic Staff getting picked up by I Annihilate. And that'll probably build into, I mean, the only other thing it could build into, which is going to be a Sheep's Guard. Well, a little bit of a lull in the action here as both teams playing pretty safe, not really applying the pressure, but it will give us a
Radiant's bottom
time
tower
to take a
is
look at
under
the
attack.
net worth, and look at that. Holy moly. It was so close for so long, and then all of a sudden just completely drops off a cliff. It's almost 20k now in favor of the NEL Goons as I Annihilate jumps on in one more time, but immediately jumps away. XP, about 15k as well, but look at that gold. It's about 18k. Wow. Well, it was a close one. It was a close one, and then it suddenly became not a close one as Duty Free Derek finishes the Egg Scepter on the Treant Protector. And now he'll put that on the tree, and that should give him vision, right? I think so. It looks like it does. It's actually a little weird that tree can get vision from that into the Roche Pit. Does this thing actually say anything about that? Grants him unobstructed vision in that location. A little bit surprising as he's gonna make his way through the Radiant Jungle, constantly placing these little tree things, whatever they're actually called. Eyes in the forest. Yeah, that's actually what they were called in Dota 1 way back. So he's going to be placing those all over the trees. As if you actually go way back in time, Luna could actually do this as well. Well, we're going to have a Basher getting picked up by the Juggernaut, and that's going to combine with the Relic. And that's going to make for an Abyssal Blade. As we've got our second game of the night going over 50 minutes.
Let the fun begin.
My goodness. Well, Void Boys will look to pick off FRL here. It looks like that's going to be a dead answering apparition. Pretty much no way he's going to be able to get away from that. Now, what is that going to mean? NEL Goons obviously in a position in the bottom to keep pushing here. But on the back of that, we actually have Void Boys backing. So they're coming back to defend their bottom lane, but Duty Free Derek and Annihilate are both going to TP away. Because they have to take down these trees, because they don't want to be spotted all over the place. So they found one there, one of the eyes in the forest. Well, we're going to have Roche up in 2 minutes, and that might be our moment where we're actually going to have a team fight. Well, we saw last game Void Boys being quite a bit ahead. Not a gigantic gold lead, but certainly ahead when it came to team fights, and then eventually a gigantic gold lead. But they were playing extremely conservative this late in the game, and now we're seeing the NEL Goons kind of taking that spot. There's going to be a Satanic completed for 747. So he'll have a way to heal himself back up if he gets kind of low in the team fight, assuming he's going to be able to get some right clicks off, but you have to keep in mind there's always the sheep sticks, the Scythe of Ice coming out from the Ancient Apparition, and also on the Storm Spirit that could prevent him from doing so. 1 minute now until Roche. Some more observer wards getting placed. This one's just kind of slowly going. Just waiting for a team fight. Come on. Come on.
Do it with flair.
Well, what's that? What are the next items that could potentially come out here? As we still don't have a Blink Dagger on the Earthshaker. I think he's perfectly fine with just having the Force Staff. As for the Ogre Magi, I have no idea what would potentially be coming out next. Sheep, maybe? They're trying to find the heroes in the trees here, but Annihilate will TP away. Ritsu. Oh, those balls are so close to him. How did they not see him? They must have seen him. Well, they just hit him, so they have to know. As they're gonna go on him now. He doesn't have a TP. Actually, he does. He's got a boots of speed, but he's just gonna get chain multicast. Why didn't he just TP away? I don't understand. Why didn't he TP? I don't know. Am I missing something? He could have just spun Boots of Travel. Oh well. Anyway, they will get caught out there. And with the Juggernaut dead, he does have buyback, but Void Boys will look to push Roche. But Bloody 9 putting some pressure in the top lane. Because these top racks are exposed, but now he'll just TP away. And that means 2 heroes on the side of Void Boys are back in the top lane.
Unstoppable.
And there's a fight going on here as well, as Annihilate is going to get the kill onto Fly. And dropping the Earthshaker. Doesn't really have much mana, but he'll try to run away from 747. Ice Blast flying on in to where Duty Free Derek and Omega Pona are going at it. Duty-free Derek, almost gets his head chopped off, but Omega Poners gets interrupted by Bloody Nine as he jumps on in with a hook shot. Now, Mercy Please tries to jump on up, but the Cogs pushes him right back down. 747 constantly trying to nuke down Bloody Nine because they think he's still there, but he's not. Now I Annihilate will jump on in. FRL will get stunned up. And, well, he'll get dropped pretty damn quickly as 747 does a ton of right-click damage, and now Bloody Nine will hook shot away to I Annihilate. Now, they'll look to drop Roche. So they actually step back to potentially avoid a nice blast, but all three of them actually get hit, so that wasn't why they were stepping back. But either way, this Roche looking like it could very well go the side of Void Boys, but with Ritsu here now, they're second guessing, maybe trying to get another pick off on the Juggernaut, but he's positioning himself quite well, just really delaying Void Boys. But he might actually get taunted up here, but never mind. He's just gonna right click down to Megaponer so damn fast. He popped the BKB just preemptively in case he did get taunted there. And now they're gonna go on 747, but Ritsu's gonna get stunned up. As he's gonna pop the Omni Slash and he's gonna jump around. Ice Blast gonna fly and hit a bunch of targets. But Ritsu will go down. Fly's gone down as well. 747 just going crazy on the Shadow Fiend, just throwing out the right clicks. Mercy Please is going to go down as well. Bloody Nine, and somehow the NEL Goons come out ahead in that team fight. We will have a buyback from both Mercy Please and 747, and they both made their way back to the Roche pit. And they're going to stun up and go after Duty Free Derek first. Roche has just fallen. Storm Spirit will pick that one up. He's going to immediately jump on to 747. Duty Free Derek still hasn't gone down. There we go. He finally goes down, and now they're going to get the pull on 747 as he's going to go down. But will they be able to get the kill on the Mercy Please? Looks like they will. Everyone is dead on the side of Void Boys. It's a 7-man wipe, I guess, if you want to refer to it as such. As all 5 of them are dead, but 2 of them were buybacks as well. And the 2 big cores on the side of Void Boys, the Ogre Magi and the Shadow Fiend, take a fall, and now the NEL Goons will look to take these racks finally in the top lane.
Radiant's
They're going to drop it. The question is, what else will they be able to take? Will they be able to take mid? Or maybe bottom? Bottom's tier 3 taking a little bit more damage prior to this. Fly has respawned, but playing pretty safe, staying in the fountain as he doesn't want to be picked off, and both these heroes have a way of closing the gap fairly quickly. So he doesn't want to get caught out by that, and then his team, even when they all respawn, is stuck left to defend 4v5. Now they're up as 3. As I Annihilate's going to look to jump on out of here in just a second. TP's going to come in from Ritsu. As he'll just actually attack the tower 2 times and then run away. Or maybe not. Maybe he's going to re-engage. Obviously some hesitation as I Annihilate jumps in from downtown as he's going to go on Fly, but Fly will get forced back to his fountain, and now I Annihilate's going on Schwan, but all this is doing is just creating space for Ritsu as he's taking down the tier 3 and the melee racks as Bloody Nine's also come in to help him out. Now Ritsu will make his way to the bottom lane where he's going to go on those tier 3, go on the tier 3 and eventually the racks as I Annihilate still trying to delay the heroes on the side of Void Boys.
Radiant's middle barracks has fallen.
As Ritsu has already taken the tier 3, the melee racks is going to go down, and soon the range racks. Great play there coming up from I Annihilate to zone the enemy team as Void Boys are now stuck, left to defend against Mega Creeps. Still not throwing in the towel yet. As well, this is their last game of the tournament, and it is an important one. Or last game of the group stage, I should say. It is an important one. They're sitting at 1-1 right now. Obviously, 2-1 would put them in a good position to potentially move forward. If they finish at 1-2, probably not. Actually, I think it guarantees that they're not, because the NEL Goons would be at 1-1. Top 5 is also at 1-1, and one of those 2 teams would have to win our next game. So, Void Boys on the edge of elimination here. As they lose this one, they're out.
Invisibility.
And of course, the NEL Goons need to stay in this just to have a potential. Well, now NEL Goons will look to end it as iAnnihilate's going to jump in from way out. As he's going to constantly jump away, making sure that he doesn't get CC'd up. Ice Blast will fly on through. Is it good? It is good. It's going to land on both the Ogre and the Shadow Fiend. We just lost the Earthshaker, but we've also lost the Storm Spirit, and he's just going to respawn with that Aegis and come right on back in. The GGs will finally get called. The NEL Goons will take this. And, well, based on what it's been said in the chat and based on what we just saw, I have to agree. I think the Void Boys threw this game pretty damn hard. And, well, yeah, I agree. They played way too safe. Way too safe. Last game they played incredibly safe and they eventually got there. And I said, I think halfway through this game, you know, when you're playing so safe, you're just basically setting yourself up for one moment where if you make a mistake, you can just lose the game. And we saw. It was actually, I guess, essentially 2 moments in this game, but they were immediately back to back, where all of a sudden the game was close, maybe up and down, within a few thousand gold. And then all of a sudden, Void Boys just lost it completely. NEL Goons jumped to almost a 15,000 gold lead out of basically nowhere. And it's going to be very, very difficult to lose a game when you're ahead 15,000. But Void Boys playing just too damn safe all the damn time. Well, either way, NEL Goons will take it. Void Boys are then going to get knocked on out. So they finished 3-0 in their group. Last Dota 2 Canada Cup. They went on to finish 4th, I think. They were in the 3rd place match, and I believe they lost it. So I think they finished 4th overall. Last Canada Cup, and now they're going to get eliminated in the group stage. Well, things not going well for Void Boys recently. As I mentioned, they're also in a little bit of a losing skid prior to this tournament as well. But they're going to get knocked on out as the NEL Goons are putting themselves in a position where they could potentially advance. As they're going to be playing top 5 in our next match and our final match of the night, and the winner of that will actually advance into the next round with the North American Rejects. Well, that one was scheduled to start 8 minutes ago, so hopefully. We're going to jump on into that one soon. It should be about another 5, maybe 10-minute break, depending on the players. But in the meantime, I'm going to throw it to music. Once again, thanks for watching. I'm Niz. Hopefully you enjoyed the cast. Make sure you do follow on twitch.tv/NizCast and on Twitter at NizCast and YouTube as well at youtube.com/NizCast for all the VODs. But I desperately need to give my voice a little bit of a break. And hopefully the break between the games is a little bit closer to 10 minutes than 5, but I guess as a viewer you probably want it to be 5, so there's no downtime. But either way, I'm going to throw it to music and we'll be back in just a minute.